Thanks for joining me for another session of Basefield in 5. In this video, we're going to be talking about filter templates. Filter templates were created to allow users to control the view of an application in a quick and repeatable way. This gives users the opportunity to reuse the same application with different perspectives while minimizing rework. And by rework, I mean presetting filters, adding searches, clicking all your different little things on a view to make sure that you're getting a look that you want out of an application. As I'm making this video, the filter templates feature is only available for event operations, but the concept is going to be leveraged and brought to other applications in future releases. Applications like asset operations or availability. Think of filter templates as the place to save a view of an application. You'll probably do this for a group within your organization, right? Each functional group has a different perspective on why they're using Basefield, such as a control center for time-sensitive events with compliance or safety concerns, or on the flip side, a performance engineering team doing case management, right? Integrating availability results with work orders so they can work with site technicians. Those are two very different perspectives that will probably want their own filter templates or a few to help standardize their workflow, right? But they're going to be using the same application in the end. So let's jump into event operations and take a look at some of the features, and we'll walk through a quick example to get you guys started taking advantage of this functionality. So what we have here, what we're showing here is my local development environment for demonstration purposes, and we have opened up event operations. So do a quick orientation on locating filter templates and how to interact with them. So first off, you see that a filter template has been applied. We've navigated to event operations. A default has been loaded up for us, and we see that because the load icon is highlighted. We have a deselect selection. There's also edit here. Another way that you can notice what's going on here, which can be very handy for links, is that there is a filter template parameter in the URL that's dishing out an ID, right? So when you want to link something or add something to the menu, you could pass a particular filter template ID as that URL, even if it isn't the system default, to make sure that that filter template is applied. Another way of dealing with this, if you don't want any filter template applied, is to send a blank value on that URL parameter. And what that is basically the result of clicking deselect. We see that URL parameter dropped. We no longer have one selected. It's letting us save a new one. So let's walk through an example here about making one potential control center view. Let's look at some high priority ones, something that matters to us that we haven't acknowledged, and let's create that filter template. So let's click off some of these things to make the view a little bigger. So when you're creating a new filter template, what you can do is just start by creating your view, right? So the first thing we're going to do is try and select things that are of a certain level of priority, right? We know this is the type of items that we're looking for. Priorities can be set by default on alarms, so you can pre-configure your system to know which ones you're filtering, as well as edit them later if someone wants to escalate something. Another one that's common is searching by something that's unacknowledged. Obviously, if you acknowledge something, you've known there. So we're looking for something that's new, something we haven't seen before. So those are good ones. So let's start by clicking save. Once we click save, it takes us to this new filter template dialog that shows the filters that we've actually selected, gives us an opportunity to create something. So we'll add a name here. We can add a description, unacknowledged, new high priority items, right? Something that we want to do. Now we get a couple of options here, right? This could be shared. We could set something as default, which is something that is hidden behind a permission. If you don't have permissions, you won't be able to set this. There can only be one per system. And when you overwrite something as a system default, the previous one is going to be removed from being a default. The other two options here are controlling some of the view. The sidebar object filter, which you saw me just hide on the right, is the selecting from and to and which objects you want to be included. So when you have your sidebar objects already pre-selected, you can have that automatically hidden. And then we have the ability to set a default collapsed filter. So that is this area that we were talking about in the orientation. This little button gets pre-clicked for you. Column selections here on the right, we'll talk about a little bit more, and we'll also talk about edit refresh settings in another video. But what we're going to want to do just to speed this up, right, is to do something like this, right? We're looking for a faster refresh time. We're looking for a limited set of events because we've pre-filtered these to things that we care about and want to see pretty quickly. So what we'll do is click Save once we have it created. And it'll give us this option to select the template we've just created. So that's what we'll want to do. As you see here, we have those filters now. We have a deselect, we have an edit. We've changed our refresh settings so it's automatically updating for us. And of course, we're going to get those results here. Now that we have that created, let's take it to another level and walk through adding this to a menu and give you some other tips and tricks on how to hide and show menu items and things of that nature. So first thing we want to do is we want to navigate to where we want to drop that application. And to add something into the menu, we want to first search for that base application. So of course, this is going to be an instance of event operations, and you see there's already been a couple in my environment. So that is how to add it to it. So what we want to do is customize this menu link from here. So you can click Edit. We can go Edit on Event Operations. We can go add our filter templates. We can go double check this ID. I think it's 58. So we can start with this. We'll change this view, so this menu item name, so we can see what we're looking for. Let's try Control Center View. We can click Update on that. Click Complete. So let's jump over to this Control Center View. With Control Center View, we see that we did actually get the right ID. You can always get the ID from this ID column in your actual filter templates. So let's go through here and try and set up this menu ID with a lot of things hidden. So what we're seeing is only the actual table of events since we know where we're going already, right? So let's go into Edit. So let's hide our sidebar object filter, right? This is this pane on the right. Let's do this filter default collapsed mode, and that'll hide which filters are selected, like these ones when we actually do it. So let's edit the filter template to do that. You see it hid both of those, right? This came added and removed by default, and this hid itself by default. So we can do that. A couple of other ones that are handy is this one. You see this added another URL parameter. So let's copy that, and let's go ahead and copy this from and to so I can show you how to edit those. Let's go back to our Control Center View and continue to add on to our menu URL parameters. So we have our filter template here. We have our from. Handy way to do from is say, like, let's say we want to look at the last 2 days of information. Star is now, -2D is a shorthand for -2 days. And then of course we want it to be now. So whenever someone clicks on this link, it's going to show them the last 2 days, right? We copied over this page header collapsed. Another one that's handy to know is menu equals false, right? That hides this bar on the left. And then also another one is app header equals false, which is this top bar as well. So now we're going to get our filter template for the last 2 days with basically everything else collapsed in this menu item, right? So let's go here, and when we navigate, one of the things you want to do is refresh the page so you get that clean look of what it would be if we didn't pre-navigate into this situation. And as you see here, all of our 3 options are collapsed here. We have our object filter didn't show up, and of course our menu is hidden as well. And once you're in this view, you can always bring those things back by clicking these headers, right? Coming back in here and hiding them again if you want, seeing the actual app header, right? Or seeing the actual filter template itself, right? So here we have a very controlled view that we now see the table of results only, and we have that pre-canned to the menu so it's easy to find again. So this is a quick rundown on how to take advantage of the different filter template functionality, as well as some other pieces to the puzzle within Basefield to get you results that you need.